First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
An April Fool's joke turned serious. A new way University of Florida students can pay off parking tickets.
And on Sunday, Gainesville police dealt with what neighbors thought was a hostage situation.
An extreme language barrier made that case all the more confusing. Thanks for joining us. I'm Amanda Grahowski.
And I'm Nicolette Perdomo. Alexa Lorenzo joins us now with the story of how police sorted things out. From what they could tell from the call, officers were responding to domestic violence and a possible hostage situation. They were prepared to deal with people who only could speak Spanish, but had to handle this case with nothing like a full translation.
Gainesville police officers arrived at the 3700 block of Southwest 28th Terrace after receiving a domestic violence call from a woman who only seemed to speak Spanish. But at the scene, 3 Spanish-speaking officers could not understand her.
Trying to have officers that spoke traditional Spanish to try to pick up a dialect where even people that speak that dialect don't understand one another made information getting to our officers very difficult.
They later realized the victim from Guatemala speaks a Mayan language, causing the description and location of the suspect to be lost in translation.
They have no relation to Spanish whatsoever. They are completely independent of Old World languages, so these are developed on their own.
Authorities found the victim and her child in the crowd, ruling out a potential hostage situation. The armed suspect had fled. Police believe he was afraid of being arrested and deported.
We are looking into the immigration status of those people, and we know that that fear is running through their minds. So not only is there a language barrier, there's going to be a truth barrier as well. They don't want to say anything that will get anyone in trouble and possibly get that person deported.
Benjamin Perez Bravo faces charges of simple battery, false imprisonment, and obstructing justice. Authorities also had trouble communicating with Bravo.
It's horrific. It's important to emphasize that these are not Spanish speakers. They're used to hearing that in Guatemala as the voice of authority, and usually it's a very violent voice, actually.
Our heads were on a swivel. We knew that there was somebody out there. It finally took us a little bit of time to get that information that he was not in the apartment and out there. So it's just putting your faith in your local law enforcement.
In Guatemala, there are at least 20 Mayan languages plus Spanish and 2 other local languages. A few years ago, the U.S. Census Bureau found 49% of immigrants from Guatemala speak little or no English. You can understand why it might be hard to find a relative or neighbor who can translate for police.